Alright, hey, Michelle again. Let's get into this bag. Alright, again, this is the Coachtopia Alter Ego Crescent bag. I got this in the color ruby and silver. I have her very simply dressed up right now. You really could do a lot with this bag. Again, just want to highlight the beautiful hydrations. This is made from the scraps of the Coach Brooklyn Ruby, obviously. You do have the name branding here in the front, but it's debossed. No color, that's wonderful. You do have the, I just call this a charm holder where you've got your Coachtopia tags, but this is a larger one, so you can actually put maybe some heavier or larger size charms on there. I did go ahead and add that wonderful hang tag that has my glorious zodiac sign on there. This bag does have a double zipper, and these are those kind of loop zippers, so if you're a person who likes to add charms on there as well, you could. I'm not big on double zippers, and I'm also really not big on putting things on my zipper pulls unless they're small. So I just keep mine up one to the side and open it. I will say this is a very smooth zipper. This is a very easy zipper. This is one of the things that I've gone back and forth with because I do love hobos. They are my favorite style bag. And not all hobos, not all zippered hobos are treated the same. Like some have a very steep zipper, which makes it very hard to just naturally get it in that bag and get through the curve. This one's very nice, very smooth. I can't wait to see what this bag is like as the leather begins to soften. At first, I wasn't sure what I initially thought of this kind of hollowed shoulder strap, because you can tell, you can push it together. It's essentially just this two thick components of the leather sewn together. But as I'm wearing it and kind of trying it on, I actually do like it because the thicker leather and I think the hollowing of the leather makes it a little bit more of a cushion on your shoulder. Where, for instance, on the Brooklyn, if you have it packed heavily, it can sometimes dig into your shoulder. I don't see that being a problem here. So, quick overview of the bag. I'll do my best to kind of get you insight because of that single strap. It is going to be a little weird, but it's in there. Everything's packed full. I primarily plan to use this as a larger purse carry. I do work in sales, as I mentioned, and my job never really is off, so I typically like to carry at least a notebook or a planner in case I need to take notes or a random call. So I figured I'd go ahead and pack this for what a light day at the cafe would look like if I'm not working from home or traveling, but otherwise I'll just have purse items in this in general. So I'm going to reach in, pull things out one at a time and show you what I've got. First and foremost, I had to definitely try and see if an iPad mini fits. Very easily, you can get that in and out. Next, my handy dandy A5 planner. This is my favorite size planner to carry. I customize and make my own planners now so that I can have one commonplace planner / notebook. So this has got my planner, my journal, my gratitude journal, my brainstorming, my food tracking, my exercise tracking. This is essentially my work and personal brain, which you can probably tell with all those little dividers and markers I have. Love it. I do carry a commonplace journal. Whether or not I'm working, this is where I do the majority of my goal writing. I track long-term things I'm working for. I do, let's see what else, lifelong planning. I have content strategy. I put my wish lists in here. I do like to write handwritten grocery lists. I put those in here so that way when I walk through the store and mysteriously leave my brain behind, I don't just impulsively go and buy things. I have a structured list. But I also like to write some of my self-care and daily habits in here to remind myself, especially on hard days, right? So things that make me happy, my preferred go-to self-cares, my reading list, some of my favorite music, all that's in here. Fits very well and easily into the bag. I did move my EDC into my corner zip bracelet. This is just from the outlet. This is the, I want to say they call this dark signature with charcoal or charcoal and gunmetal. Love that. I decided to go with kind of a moody vibe here because I kind of have a black heart and I just love black and red together. So all my EDC items are in here. I do like the corner zip ones because they give a little bit more stretch. So I was able to go ahead and also put my hand sanitizer in here to have as few free floating liquids as possible. I don't want to damage my purse or have any spills. Lovely item. since this would be a cafe day, I do carry my iWalk portable charger. This has enough juice to either power up my phone fully or my iPad mini fully, so that's a must. Very small, compact. Of course, AirPods. I just kept my keys on my cherry trigger snap since that went with the theme of the bag. My pen in a pouch, because why are we still carrying loose pens in our purses? And then this is actually the SLG that inspired me to finally try something red. I love going to my local Dillard's and finding or perusing their little small sale section. And I just happened to notice that their wallet case was full of wallets. So I'm peeking in and this little beauty popped out at me. And this is the zip around card case in ruby and silver, which I think was a color from last year. And I honestly got a really good deal on this. I think I paid like $51. So it came with all the tags and everything still intact. It's gorgeous. And then I don't know if any of you guys follow, I think she pronounces it, or you would say it, Finavid. She's both on TikTok and YouTube, but she has a lovely collection of purses and SLGs, and she dresses them up in some of the most eccentric, eclectic, but still put together ways. And she has an amazing collection of these. And I noticed that on some of them she would put like charms on the zipper pull. I personally am not big on doing a lot of charms on my bags, but I was like, on my SLGs I could do a little bit. And so I had previously purchased this cherry and I just changed the key attachment. And so I think she'll live here on this wallet. These are great wallets. They can hold quite a bit. You do still have a slip pocket in the back. So again, Costco card. And then I love these because I still have the opportunity to carry not just cards, but cash. And then I even do put coins in here. I don't typically have a lot of coins at one time as I try to use them as I go along, but great wallet, and it fits in, again, nearly every bag. All right, so that is it for my main compartment. And then in the back, I try not to put a whole lot of heavy items in the slip pocket because I think when I purchase like second-hand purses, you know, a lot of times you'll see that lining is kind of pulling away or has been stretched out. And I think that that's honestly from people who hadn't put just heavier or large items. So my snap pockets are always a part of like my EDC or just my quick go-to items. So in the snap pocket here, I just have my travel size perfume, which is the Jo Malone Sakura Cherry Blossom, just trying to use that up before the season is over. And then I like to reuse the sample jars I get from Sephora for some of my smaller cosmetics. So this is actually my hand cream, which I always try to put some on right after I wash my hands every time. And then today's lip product is just the Laneige Glaze Craze. So I just keep those items stored in my slip pocket. And that is everything that I have here in the bag. I did want to show you real quick and see if an iPad Pro, I don't have a regular iPad, but I did want to check and see if an iPad Pro would fit more easily into this Crescent bag than it would, say for instance, in the Brooklyn. So let me grab mine. All right, I've got it. This is the true test. So in the Brooklyn, it technically does fit, but it like stands up. This one I think is gonna be tough because it has a more narrow opening. Oh, okay, interesting. So you're gonna have a harder time navigating it into the bag, but I think it does sit better in the bag. And then considering that this is what I would consider a more closed bag than the Brooklyn, I would probably be more likely to carry in this one than the Brooklyn. But again, getting in and out, you're gonna have to just finagle it from a horizontal to a vertical position. I'll probably just stick to using my iPad mini in this bag. This is a lovely beauty. I was so happy and pleased to see this was part of the fall drop. I think that reds and burgundies are one of my favorite colors to incorporate with my otherwise very dark, very neutral wardrobe. I love the idea of having a solid color purse as my accent. I can't really do a whole lot of patterns and mixed colors because for me, visually, that is a little bit overstimulating. But I was just super happy that Coachtopia kept with their more solids and not having a whole lot of heavy hardware. This is going to be a great bag. And honestly, because this is just a solid red and it just has like a very classic silhouette, I can see myself being able to carry this year round. And that is one of my goals with my purse collection. I feel very guilty if I have purses that I'm like, oh, I can only wear that during this time of year or only wear that during that time of year. Because in my mind, if a bag is sitting on my shelf for longer than a week or two, it means I'm not really using it, and why do I have it? And having gone through my collection and really figuring out what I need in my purses, that is a big part why going into this fall drop, I had a major credit because I hadn't so thoroughly thought about all the bags that I brought in. I'm trying to move away from some of those impulsive purchases. And honestly, I was very proud of myself with this drop because I did a lot of research, and was able to connect with some additional bag connections that were able to give me some understanding of what was coming and to really have the opportunity to think about what was going to work best for me. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the What's My Bag. And if you've been considering this bag or this colorway, I hope I was able to give you some additional insights. And I'll see you later on. Have a good one.